So I will give a little bit of a precursor to the training is that we don't have all the information yet for the instructors, but we do have some. So I want to make sure that I share at least some of what we're doing and what's going to be happening. Um, so, oh, well, oh goodness, sorry, it was slow. So we will be granting sick leave to all instructors within the CCCS system with a maximum of 48 hours. And that was effective January 1st. So this will be to any of our instructors that are paid via FLAC. So I don't know, there's going to be some situations where we have instructors that are teaching classes, but they're also doing timesheets. We're going to kind of base that off of what you do the most. So if you are teaching 5 classes, but you also tutor and you've got a timesheet for tutoring, we're going to base your leave off of your instructing instead of that one timesheet. We're vice versa. We might have somebody who does a lot of timesheets, but might teach one class or sub. We're going to pay them for their sick leave based off of their timesheets. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're looking at the sick leave for instructors at where you may fall. And if there's any questions about any of that, definitely reach out to us and we can look at it and explain why we made that decision. So instructors will be granted their leave at the beginning of the spring semester. The initial bank of 22.5 hours will be granted on March 5th. So you'll see that here in the next month or so, it'll be in your sick leave balance. If you need to use sick leave before then, it's available to you. It's just the way that our system processes, so it won't be visually available, but you can still use it. So if you need to use it, please reach out, let me know. I can help walk you through that, and then we'll get that deducted when the leave does start to accrue. Any unused leave can be carried over to the next fiscal year. So don't feel like just because you haven't used it all that you have to use it. You can carry it over. Another big thing about the sick leave is that employees that work at multiple institutions, you're going to have a separate sick leave bank at each institution. So you're going to accrue the 22.5 hours with us. And if you also teach at CCCS, you're also going to accrue the 22.5 hours with them or whatever is applicable to what you're doing for them. The sick leave doesn't transfer from institution to institution either. So if you are working for us and then you stop working for us and start working at CCCS, then your leave would start over with them. And we also do not pay out sick leave if you end up resigning or separating. We will reinstate it though, as long as you're being rehired within the same institution. So for those of you guys that take off for the summer and maybe you might have to complete the new hire packet again, the known loved packet that we have. So if you have to be rehired, your sick leave would be reinstated. It doesn't go away. There is a time frame to it, but I believe that the policy is at 4 years. So you have quite some time before it'll go away. So using sick leave, there are a number of reasons why people might need to use the sick leave. It could be because you're sick, the obvious stuff, but you can also use it for anything that's maybe preventative. So if you have a doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, eye doctors, all of those things you can use it for. We don't cover injuries that we do cover injuries that are not covered by workers' comp. So if you're on workers' comp for whatever reason, definitely reach out to us and we'll kind of walk you through that process. And then you can also use it for health needs for any children that are maybe under the age of 18, or if you are providing care for an adult, you can take them to the doctor, eye doctor, they're homesick, things like that as well. And then lastly, you can also use your leave for yourself or a family member that's been a victim of domestic abuse, sexual assault, harassment, anything like that. if your sick leave is going to extend beyond 3 scheduled work days, please reach out to us in HR so that we can help walk you through and look at anything that maybe you might qualify for, like FMLA or things like that. So just let us know if it goes beyond 3 scheduled work days. Okay, so this is where things are getting a little sticky for us, is submitting leave. So the plan is right now is that you're going to be able to go into the portal. Hopefully you're all familiar with the portal. This is what it looks like on the employee tab, and you'll be able to submit your leave in here. You want to definitely still make sure that you're following whatever the sick leave policy is within your department, though. So making those alternative arrangements to cover your classes, anything like that, make sure to do that as well. But then you'll want to submit the formal leave request, and that'll be in the portal under the employee tab. And then the link that says leave request report, the very first one, that's where you're going to click. So when you go into your leave request, this is what it'll look like. At the top there, it's going to have your sick leave balances. So you'll be able to see exactly what's available to you. And then underneath is where you're going to just kind of goes in number order, but you'll fill in the date that you're going to be out and the times. One other thing that's really important about the sick leave for our instructors is that we're only using this for when you're missing class. So this isn't going to be used if you're not going to include time that's like preparation for classes or anything like that. So it is just real time what you're missing from your classroom. So put in your start date, start time, end date, end time, and then the leave type, you drop down and you've got your sick leave on there. And then the next box over is the FMLA. So that should say no, unless we've already had that conversation with HR. And then you put in your total hours. You want to make sure that your total hours, though, are correct to what you're actually taking, because that is what's going to be deducted from your balance. So that's a really important number to focus on. You can put comments in if you choose, but you don't have to. Sometimes those are really nice to have just for future references. You can't remember if you put in a doctor's appointment or what you took the time off. Those comments will be helpful. Just please remember that the comments that are in there are there forever. I can't change them. So what you put in there, make sure you want other people to be able to see that. So your supervisor will be able to see that. And then if I ever have to go in and look at your leave, or whoever my predecessor might be or whatever, HR will be able to see those comments as well. So just make sure that that you're okay with sharing what information you put in there. So step 4 is going to be clicking on the electronic signature, and then 5 would be submitting for approval. When you click on electronic signature, you'll get a message up towards the top that'll say your signature's been approved or has been accepted, and then you can submit for approval. Okay, so once you've submitted your leave, your supervisor will get an email notifying them. You will not get an email though saying that it's been submitted. You'll get an email once they have taken action on it. So they have 3 options. They can either approve it, decline it, or send it back to you for revisions. When they've made that determination, that's when you'll get the email letting you know. You can always go in and review the status of your leave though. If you go back over to the portal under time and leave, there's a, leave request report history. So that's what this page is. When you click on, or when you're in here, you can see anything that's in process, revision requests, then what's approved, and then anything that's declined. When you click on the ID numbers, that will actually give you more detailed information on what the leave actually is, what day you actually took it, and if you have any comments, you'd be able to see those and that sort of stuff. Okay, so once your leave has been approved, there may be situations where you need to change your leave. So if the leave has been approved and only once it's been approved, then you could do a correction to your leave. So for example, you had a doctor's appointment that you thought you were going to be out all day, but you actually didn't, and you ended up coming back to work early. Then maybe you submitted your leave before you left, and it was approved, but now you need to get some of it back. You could go in and do a revision to your leave. And so once it's been approved, though, you would just go into the leave request report, submit it exactly the same, but in the total hours where it's got the negative, that you'll put a negative for whatever total hours that you need to take back. If you get in here and you're confused about any of it, just not sure how to do it, or if it's been approved, you can always reach out to me. I can help look at your leave, help walk you through whatever we need to. Okay, so another option though is, say you did submit a leave request on accident. Maybe you accidentally put in 80 hours or something, and you submitted it, and then you looked at it and you're like, whoa, wait a second. Or your supervisor saw it and said, wait a second. They can always send it back to you for revisions. So when the supervisor sends your request back for revisions, you'll see it on that leave approve, or where you submit your leave. It'll be in the revision requests. There'll be an option to edit. So if you edit, it drops it down. You make whatever changes you need to and resubmit. Or if you just totally didn't even mean to take that day off, you can cancel the request and start over. So you have a couple of different options. And that's kind of it for now. Do you have any questions for me?
None here.
Ashley, were any questions submitted ahead of time?
No, not that I saw.
Wowzers. Okay. So there's a lot of things that are changing. I know that we're working on trying to figure out if we can calculate leave actually based off of how many classes you're teaching, how many contact hours they are. But that's something that's being worked on at system office. So I'm the middleman. I'm just helping share the information. So there may be a lot more information to come. But at this point, this is what we have as far as what it's all supposed to look like.
Looks very straightforward.
I hope so. If not, I'm going to get a lot of questions, right?
That's right.
Well, awesome. Thank you for joining us today, David, so we could share this presentation and at least get some recorded to share with the other instructors who might not have been able to make it.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
If you run into other instructors that have questions, definitely recommend them to the video and to talk to Lakeisha. She will get them straightened out.
Will do.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to.
Well,
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Sure, and you for yours. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. We'll see
You
you.
too.
rest of the day. We'll see you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.